What's going on, in the tunnel fans? We're here to recap a lot of great information, especially the NCAA championship game. We got obviously Mr. Truesdale on the line.
Truesdale. What's up, H-Guy?
And then our resident basketball aficionado, Mr. Malik. What's going on?
How you doing? What's up, H-Guy?
So we're going to jump right into it. Before we jump right into it, though, we want to give a rest in peace to Octavio Dotel. He was a pitcher for the Houston Astros for many years. He was unfortunately passed away in the big accident over in the Dominican Republic that happened last weekend. So as well as Nelson Cruz, former outfielder and DH for the Texas Rangers and longtime Seattle Mariner. He had a relative there, and then there was obviously hundreds of other people that have been affected. So our prayers go out to them.
There was a popular singer too. I don't know if it's like people singing, but she passed away. I forgot the name. I heard we could say that on the news morning. I saw that site. I was like, wow, this is crazy. A lot of people I know go over there, especially in the summertime.
Yeah,
and it could be people we knew.
that is true.
Yeah.
Every time I'm in the airport, I see people
Going to the DR.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And hey, rest in peace to them. What's sad is you don't know they building codes. How many times have we heard of like some building collapsing in Turkey or whatever? So rest in peace for everybody. Very sad.
People on the top right now.
Right.
Yeah. So, as we go into this spring and summertime, you got to make sure you don't let your turn up turn terrible.
Yeah.
So, you don't let your turn up turn terrible. So by the way, that's gonna be a new segment we're gonna introduce to you guys here in the future. So get ready for the turn up that turns terrible.
Sure.
So with that being said, fellas, I thought we being the Houston Cougars, y'all saw me on the last part. I mean, I had my warm up on. I was ready to go on the sideline. If Samson had sent me a little jet or chopper, I would have went to San Antonio, helped them boys out. What happened, Malik? What happened, man?
It was a collapse at the end of the game. Similar to Duke, I really felt like the officials changed the way they were calling the game from the first half to the second half. I felt that they let Florida get a little bit more aggressive than what they usually were. And then I'm not trying to say we was playing not to win, not to lose, but I don't think we kept the foot on the pedal. But one thing that hurt them tremendously was the two bigs in foul trouble, in Tugler and Francis. To me, that changed the dynamic of the game the last 6-7 minutes. They weren't as aggressive, and I think they were trying to make do until they were able to come back with those guys. So hats off to Florida, though. To me, they took it. They won the game. You got to give them all the credit because their defense was stifling at the end of the game. I thought I was watching U of H defense in Florida at the end of the game.
I disagree, and I disagree,
Okay.
and I'm gonna tell you why here in just a second. But Truesdale, what was your take on it, Mister? I want Florida to win. Oh no! You thought Florida was gonna win.
He was taking the safe.
What happened to hometown Truesdale, man? When you gonna start rooting for the hometown team?
U of H, but I think Florida was going to beat them. And Florida beat them. The main club was they got the foul trouble.
Yeah.
There was the backup point guard came in and did his thing. And like you said, it's kind of like the Duke and U of H. The referees I would say this, and I hate to talk about the first half they let them play. They made one man call, which they call it coaching.
They didn't call it
They didn't call it coaching. Yeah. But at the same time, that second half, they called 3 fouls in 9 seconds.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I disagree with you too.
Hey, they had 2 fouls before they
Neither one of y'all know what the heck y'all talking about. Okay, go ahead.
But I would say this. U of H, everybody talk about their defense, and it's great. You still got to have offense.
Yeah.
Samson probably worst offensive coaches in basketball in the country. Okay, let's keep it real. And that's when they got their butt kicked. And at the end, the boy Crosby won the ball. I'm going to keep the ball. He got the ball twice. He went to the double and the game back to him.
They did the right thing with the double.
Yeah, like they had no kind of thing, though. Then the kid jump up. he should have got the ball or something at the end.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Goodness.
At the end of the day, Florida was deep. It was shown at the end, and it got coached. And you got to get that offense together.
Hold on. I want to hear what Dallas Melvin has to say. I feel as if he has an opinion on the game, and I want to hear that first.
I want to say this for you, but say something. Houston felt like 1983 when I was in the 5th grade the next day.
Yeah.
It reminded me of the game.
With Buffalo too, with the Oilers.
But that game reminded me of the game against NC State. It was worse than NC State, but Florida had the ball.
Yeah, it was worse for NC State because we were favored. All we had to do was get a rebound. So with this one, we weren't favored to win. So we were, but they had the lead majority of the game.
So it's understanding why you both sound like you sound, because y'all in your emotion. You're in your emotions. So
No.
Truesdale, I'm gonna start with you first off. Because your take is just like terrible, Malik. But Truesdale, I'm gonna start with you. The smartest thing you said was Sampson need to get him an offensive coach. Like I agree with that 1,000% that they didn't run one. The only play they ran was the red play at the end of the game where old boy double dribble. That was a play. Everybody, you saw the pick, you saw the pin down. He came out, and the guard came out and did a great job of trying to block. But that was the only play they ran the last 4 minutes. All it was Cryer going to the hole, throwing it up. Roberts going to the hole, throwing it up. They driving and turning the ball over. Sharp going and kicking the ball off his knee. That was the problem. They didn't run any plays. And Malik, you coach AAU. So go back and look at the tape. If you can find more than 2 plays in the last 6 minutes, then I'll buy you lunch.
Well, the last play was a play.
That was a play. That was the only play.
That was a play, but Florida blew it up. They played great defense.
Florida blew it up.
Now, you got to
not hard.
Wait.
No, I got you there. Let me go ahead and get you real quick. You talking about the refs, and you talking about the way they played in the first half versus the way they played in the second half. Well, you know what? Florida just beat them boys in the second half because guess what? U of H beat them in the first half, and I'm watching the game the whole time. I'm saying you can't be up by 3 points at halftime the way they outplayed them in the first half. They flat out output. Their number one scorer had 0 points in the first half, and you up by 3. And you supposed to be one of the number one teams in the country, and you had 4 block shots, you dominated the rebounds, and you up by 3. So I said right then and there, not a good sign because Florida is a good team. So when they come back in the second half, what's going to happen? Guess what? It wasn't going to be even to even. Florida outplayed them in the second half to the degree of all you need is 1 point to win. All you need is 1 point to win. So as long as you let me hang around, as long as you let me stay this close, Malik, I can hit you. I can hit you. But if you over there down there where Truesdale is, it's hard for me to get to you. U of A should have been down there. Now, they built the lead up in the second half to 14, 12, 14. Well, guess what? That lead should have been 20. That lead should have been 20 because they should have been up by 8.
It should have been 20.
They should have been up by 8. Should they not been up by 6 to 8 at halftime? Yeah. But you're using them.
Yeah, everybody. Jay Will said it. Everybody can see it. You got to see it. Hey, look, I'm always go back to one play where Roberts squared up in the post and he tried to do a move, and the Florida defender 2-hand touched him. That is a foul. They did not call it. On the other hand, they called it for them. Now, U of H's offense has been top 5 in the nation this year.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find a tissue for y'all because y'all up here just crying about the refs and it should have been like Robert should have made a play. At the end of the day, Florida made plays.
They did. But hey, you cannot say that their offense is whack. What you can say is they were prepared for the offense and they blew it up.
I told you the boy number 7. If you don't play a good game, you boy number 2.
You got with me. I've been with Robert the whole. Every time you hear me talk, it's been about Robert. Why? I'll tell you why. I'm gonna tell you.
Hold on.
They're gonna lose.
No,
They're gonna 2 bad games.
Okay.
He didn't play the game before. He didn't play that great the game before.
The boy All doing crowds. He won't want to produce
U of H had one guy in double figures. One guy in double figures. They needed just one of the other guards to play well, either Sharp or Usain. They needed Roberts to be his usual self. He did not get over double-digit points or double-digit rebounds. He missed a lot of easy lays. To me, that was the start of us unraveling. That and the 2 fouls that came consecutive on Francis.
So you talking about Francis and the
Roberts.
Not Roberts. Not Roberts. What's the other big man? Francis and the guy with the break.
They both had 4 fouls.
They both had 4 fouls. You had to go small, but you still had your all-pro Roberts on the court, and he still didn't touch the ball in the last 3 minutes. Crier touched it, Sharp touched it, Usain touched it. Your man that got you there, the one that Kelvin Sampson say I love, and he hugging him, and he that man didn't touch the ball in the last 3 minutes.
Now,
So Kelvin, I know you're taking blame for it, and I believe the Cougars are going to come back stronger. They got a lot of talent coming in. We're going to touch on that in just a second. But when you ride with somebody, you need to die with them. And Sharp ain't the dude you die with. I get him to go for 3 points.
He made some big shots.
He made some big shots. Made big shots all year long. All year long. But you're down by 2.
Hey, it's something about people's memory is so short.
No. Sharp
won
big
a
shots.
lot of games all year. He made a bad mistake.
Who the top 2 players on the team?
Sharp and Crier.
So Roberts is not a top 2 player on the team? No. You got 1, 2, 3. Who's 1?
All right. Heart and soul, I would say Roberts.
Number 2.
Then you got to make sure Crier.
Okay. So if you need a big shot to win a game, you want to go to 3, 4, or 5? Come on, Malik. You've been talking.
As far as a winning shot, it will be either Sharp or Crier. Both of them been making the winning shot. Yeah, they did a good job. Hey,
He did not want the ball. He didn't really score. Give me the ball.
Right.
He didn't want that. He wanted that smoke.
All right. So unfortunately, we all know the score. Cougars fell short by 1 point. Once again, we're gonna take a real quick final summary of the season, NCAA season, and whoever you want, whatever team, whatever player you want to talk about. You got 45 seconds. Tuesday, go.
You want to talk about the tournament?
Yeah.
Well, I knew SEC was going to do it. At the end of the day, you got to beat the SEC. At first, I thought it was going to be 4 SEC teams in the Final Four, but it wasn't. I knew the 2 teams was going to get in, and they got in. That was U of H and Duke. You know what I'm saying? I'm never happy that they did beat Duke. If you're going to lose one of them teams in the Final Four, I'm happy U of H beat Duke. I can't stand Duke. Not beat them, but U of H, SEC, obviously, they was going to win it. Florida got hot. They've been playing good all season. They got hot in the SEC tournament, and I told they're going to be a team to watch. And it is what it is. The team that they almost beat them was at a lot of comebacks, which the championship game is Texas Tech. So as U of H fans, they did them a favor because I didn't think it was the city Tech they did. And that was another thing to watch. But hey, SEC got the crown. I thought Auburn was going to win, but then I knew the SEC was going to win. And, it is what it is. I got to salute. And everybody needs to start giving the SEC a lot of credit in basketball. You got to give a lot of credit in all sports because they put money in their sports, and it's the best conference overall, except for hockey, because they don't have hockey.
Yeah,
they'll be good.
I give Truesdale credit. He said earlier in the year the SEC was going to win the national championship. I really thought that it was going to be either U of H or Duke. But Malik, what you got? Give me.
Well, first of all, shout out to Florida for winning it. And the SEC was the top conference all year. They blew out the ACC. So it wasn't like they were just the top conference. They were a dominant conference. Now, U of H had a great season. They came up short. It's going to sting for all the players and all the coaches for a long time. But at the end of the day, I'm so proud of them. When you really think of it, this is probably the least talented team over the last 4 years, and what they did was remarkable. I think the whole city of Houston ought to be proud of them. I know it didn't end right, but man, you got to be proud of them because you got a bunch of 3-2 stars that came together under great leadership and showed everybody in the world what the city of Houston is when it comes to basketball. When they were playing, they had Houston on their jersey. I felt like the whole city was behind it. It didn't feel like it was just the university. It almost felt like it was Rockets Jr. or something. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So I think I was about to say the start of the dynasty last time I talked, but in theory, he's already been doing it. This is the second Final Four last 4 or 5 years. And they got the highest class they've ever had since probably when they got Akeem and Clyde in them. So, hey, the future's bright for U of H. I can see them back in the Final Four next year. And the bigger question for me is the Sharp return to Houston. That shot and everything he's probably going through now, does he need a fresh scenery? That's the big question that I don't think anybody is thinking about right now. You imagine what he's going through right now, I probably wouldn't even go to school for a whole week. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, if you really watch that game, Sharp is not the reason they lost. You had a lot of factors. People are talking about the referees. People are talking about players missing shots, missing free throws, missing dunks, missing layups, coaching. I think Skelton Sampson realized his players were tight in the Duke game and then realized they got tight at the end. Once again, maybe I am old school. I'm riding with if Cry my number one, he taking that shot at the end. I'm running the play for him. I understand that Sharp probably is a better three-point shooter. Can I finish? Because I'm giving my 45 seconds. I'm giving my 45 seconds. Y'all want to interrupt. Give me my 45. When there's going to be some equity in this bad boy. DEI is in effect. No, I'm just kidding. So, no, but real quick, there's a lot of room for improvement. But off the U of H side, U of H is going to they're going to be back in the Elite Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final Four next year. I'd be surprised if they don't go to the Final Four next year, but they'll at least go to the Elite 8 because they got a great team coming in. The reason I'm not putting them for sure in the Final Four is because you know how it is. You bring new players in, it takes a while for them to learn how to play with each other, no matter how good they are, and especially if they all real good. You don't know what type of egos they got, and they're used to being the man where they are right now, and they got to come in and be a piece of the puzzle in order to have a championship team. But it's going to be a lot of teams out there. You got Texas, got a new coach with Sean Miller. You got Duke, Cooper Flagg is gone, but you got some other guys coming in. Maybe. Word on the street. If you don't want to be number one pick this year, he'll go back. But then you got Florida, who just won it. They were a young team for sure. So, and then you got the Auburns of the world, and you got UConns of the world. You got look what Rick Pitino did with St. John. His first year at first couple years at St. John, and he started to get his players in. So it's going to be an exciting basketball season next year. Malik, we want to really appreciate you coming in and giving your expertise. But we just don't with college right now. Let's jump into that NBA. Let's jump into that NBA. The Rockets are locked into the number 2 position. Who saw that at the beginning of the year? I didn't.
I did.
Man, come on.
I did.
Look at this homerism.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, I did.
Oh, my goodness.
Hey, young talent, young wing defenders. Hey, young wing defenders mean a lot. Majority of the highest scorers are wing defenders. You take away Jokic or Giannis. So we got all the wing defenders for all y'all. And then we got the veteran leadership at Van Fleet. And these boys been improving, man. And, hey, the Rockets coach, Carbon Copy Sampson, you got to play D. If you don't play D, you're not playing. If it's not about team, you're not playing. Those type of teams end up winning at the end of the day.
There's a lot of teams that ain't playing on DJ.
Nah.
Tuesday, what you got? You thought the Rockets being as good at the beginning of the year?
Man, I'm saying I just said they make the playoffs. After this year, they beat the team. But what I see so far, especially when they kind of Golden State the other night, how you play that thing on curve, they got a chance to make it to the Western Championship.
Yeah.
They make that. They all think because they're the future. And I want to see them play a Lakers again. And I love it.
And, hey, I want to say I like Brooks on our team, man. When we signed him, I liked it. I'm going to tell you why. He didn't back down to LeBron.
Nope.
Yeah, hey, the boys at Memphis, I don't even know if they had his back when he didn't back down to LeBron.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, with Houston, we got your back, brother.
And then you know his coach got it back. His coach
Heck yeah. Love it.
So
you got a game tonight though, right?
absolutely,
Right.
absolutely. We got, I had to represent. Dallas is playing the Lakers. Luka's back in town. Anthony Davis gets to play his old team. And this has playoff ramifications because if Dallas wins tonight, then they clinch a play-in spot. And then if the Lakers win, they clinch a playoff spot. So right now, Oklahoma's clinched the number 1 seed in the West. Rockets have clinched the number 2 seed in the West. Congratulations to Houston Rockets fan. And then after that, everything is up for grabs in the West. Everything's up for grabs in the West. So
now where's Dallas?
Dallas is locked into the best they can lock into is the number 9 position.
So they're in the play-in.
So they're in the play-in. But we all know their history. They've been hurt all year. You can call them the mash unit. They can call them the mash unit, and they're one of their best players. Kyrie Irving's out for the year, but they can still make some noise in the playoffs. So, but before so that's the kind of the playoff update. Who's the number 4 seed, and you in the playoffs, and you fire your coach and your GM? That's what the Denver Nuggets just did.
Yeah, I don't know what
make that make sense for me
now because I didn't understand why Memphis did what they did.
Exactly. Memphis was like the 4th or 5th seed team at the time, and they fired their coach.
Yeah, right before the playoffs. I really don't understand. You're gonna have a new interim coach while you're in the playoffs. I think that's
GM too.
Yeah. I heard the GM and the head coach were not talking.
So they like, since y'all can't get along, we don't want to get along with either one of y'all. We don't even get on.
They only lost 7 of the last 10 games.
Yes.
But I just don't know if you make that type of change right before you go to the playoffs. Maybe after the season, but before the playoffs, wow. But it's a new day and age. Now, one other thing. Pay attention to Ty Golden for Florida. He hot commodity right now. You never know if he get an offer from the NBA, kind of like how Dan Hurley got from the Lakers last year.
No, for sure. But you don't have to fire your coach before you go to the playoffs to get you a new coach.
No, I agree too. But
like you wait and see what they do in the playoffs, and you never know. They can, just like they got the record that they got because they won games early. You can win games late.
Yeah,
you can win games late, and to fire the GM and the coach, that's just unheard of for a top 6 team in the NBA.
Yeah.
And Memphis just did it a couple weeks ago.
That make me think they want to do a whole. They might get rid of Ja now. I hope not.
So Truesdale, you around a lot of talented athletes. What is Ja doing with the shotgun moves? And last night he was pretending he was throwing a grenade, throwing a bomb after each shot. What? The dude just he want to get suspended? He want to get fined? What is it?
He wanted to be a studio gangster. He wasn't a gangster. He's just a studio gangster, man. He need to chill out. I mean, and his family. I didn't understand it. Because they dropped him to his mom and dad. Like I said, a lot of these guys, sometimes come from upbringing.
Yeah, big time.
You know, that's part of the reason what's wrong with him. He wants to be so hard, wants to be a gangster so hard. His mom and not making it better. I think his sister played in a basketball game or something. And the student body was saying something. The mom calls him and he comes through.
Yeah, I heard.
Through his boy. Here's one of the kids' phone. Pay for it. I think it was some rich white kids. You know, that was different. If it was like a black kid, would have paid for that phone, make sure they took him to court. But you know,
been a fight once he
something happened in the mall too, where incident happened. So I mean, he could be the face of the NBA. The problem is LeBron is around because the NBA owns a lot of money right now. He retired, be the face. The sad is you got about 4 guys that really could be the face of the NBA.
Yeah,
because they can't.
Yeah, so we're definitely gonna dive into that in upcoming shows because to your point, and Malik, we're gonna bring you back to talk about it for sure because 2 years ago everybody was on the Ja's gonna be the face of the NBA train, and then you know now you got Anthony Edwards, he could still potentially be the face of the NBA. Yeah, there you go, and then you don't know. I don't know why Jason Tatum can't be the face of the NBA. You know,
what's
wrong with light skin, bro? Man, what you talking about?
Saying,
we back.
I'm making a joke.
We back.
I really don't know.
Bro, we back.
Anybody can be before Taylor Brown. I think Brown should be president.
Well, I think both of them should.
So here's the reason why. Here's why it's
going
going to be tough for Brown to be the face of the NBA.
intelligent black.
He's super intelligent, and he's forging his own path that is kind of divergent when you talk about the regular NBA player. So when he was drafted, he didn't have an agent. Every other player that gets drafted pretty much has an agent. And the reason if you go back and listen to his interview, the reason why he didn't get an agent, because he's like, they didn't add nothing to me. They talking about, we're going to advance you money, and then we're going to charge you, 4% of whatever your contract is. He's like, what they was giving me wasn't worth that 4%. And he's a smart guy, super smart guy.
You got a pay scale when you get drafted.
Yeah. So he's like, I don't need you because I already know what I'm going to get. And he said that every NBA player has to pay, it's like $10, $50, $100,000 or something like that to the NBA union. And the NBA union has their own attorneys. They have their own legislative people. So all he says, since I got to pay it anyway, I'm just going to use 8 people instead of going to give me an agent. And so guess what? Face of the NBA don't really want that. And then he got his own sneaker deal, right?
Yeah.
So he didn't go with the Nike or the Adidas, or he got his own sneaker deal, negotiate his own sneaker deal, coming his own sneakers. So he's not going the traditional route. He's not going traditional route, so they're not going to let him be the face of the NBA.
A lot of political stuff.
Yeah, that's why they really don't want to deal with
He's a very smart guy.
Yeah.
He's super smart.
I've been watching the Boston Celtics, especially got on HBO. It's really good. I was like, I did the last part. And if you look at him, he said how much he get in Boston, learn a lot. And he said growing up, learning a lot on Bill. He's like the Bill Russell of the team.
Yeah. Like to me, it doesn't need to be Jason Tatum. It need to be Tatum and Brown. Because I don't see one of them doing what they've been doing without the other.
For sure.
This isn't a Michael and
Pippen
thing. You know what I mean? They both are almost equal heavyweight.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think they have to do both. But personality, that's why you love Ja. That's probably why you want Anthony Edwards. Their personality. To me, Ja dropped probably about $400 million and he don't even know it.
Oh, at least.
Because they really wanted to go with Ja, and he forced their hand to make them suspend him and stuff.
Yep. Because they really didn't want to.
This is what I wanted to say. He needed to talk to Bernie Maxwell, Allen Iverson, and Carmelo Anthony. Because what they'll tell you is the NBA will use you when you're worth it. As soon as you're not, it's gonna drop you like a bad habit.
Quicker than
Quick.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't tell me AI didn't have 2-3 more years. Melo didn't have 2-3 more years. But what would that have done? That means they'd have moved up the scoring list. I don't know if I want them up in the scoring list. Yeah.
So as we wrap up the show, fellas, we cannot complete a show without talking about the number one sport, which is the NFL. The draft. The draft coming up. Tuesday. I got a couple questions for you, but my first question, not talking about position, not talking about rankings or stars coming out of college. Who, in your opinion, are the top 2 players in this NFL draft, regardless
of position?
Okay. I'd say Warren and Kid Benson.
Abdul Carter? All right. Malik, who's your top 2 players, regardless of position?
I got to go with them too. Well, Matthew Golden too.
No, top 2. You got to make a decision. I'm
going to go with Matthew Golden and Abdul Carter.
So, those are good choices.
Mm-hmm.
Those are good choices. The only reason why I'm not going with Abdul Carter is because there's a question mark there. When you got an edge rusher who relies on bending and speed, and he got a foot problem. Mm-hmm. If he had nothing, no injury history, no concerns, Abdul Carter 100%.
Yeah, I agree with
100%. Abdul Carter, no, 100%. I'm going with number 1, Travis Hunter. Been rocking with him all year. Okay. He's showing everybody why he should play receiver. Everybody, most NFL scouts say he's a DB and can be a top DB in the league. Maybe not the best DB in the league, but can be a shutdown corner. And you got a whole half of the league talking about he can be a top wide receiver. He can be a top 10, top 5 wide receiver in the league. When have you had a player come out where you got the league basically saying you're going to be one of the top players and in 2 different positions?
It's never been no kid like that. He's not been a true route runner. Robinson was running that Pro Bowl. The Pro Day wasn't on real routes. That boy, he do better playing DB. He's not a real route runner. You can run certain routes with him, but at the end of the day, you cannot play like that. I'm sorry. That boy ain't got the muscle in his body.
Yeah, that's a good. I don't say he got something to play. But he gonna play both.
No, they gonna play both.
Why? They gonna let him play both.
They won't last.
I think they are. Shohei Ohtani of the NFL.
So, and my number 2 player,
Yeah.
Ashton Genty. Genty, he did nothing but put it on the tape. He's going to change whatever team he goes through.
He won.
What?
You want him.
No, he's not going to be there for us.
I know, but you want him.
No, who don't want him?
No, I'm saying you want him for your boys, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. But he's not going to be there at 12. They want him. They got to go up and get him. And here's what I'll tell you. If the Giants didn't need a quarterback, they would take Genty. Especially, by the way, what Saquon just did in the league, a lot of people are like, man, can we afford to pass on Ashton Genty? And that's why the Raiders are going to take him. The other teams have bigger needs.
What's the name?
Man, I'm telling you, Ashton Genty.
From Travis Hunter to Sador to him, you got this kid named Carson from Alabama A&M. They're all HBCU players. This boy transferred from A&T. He was climbing.
No, so here's the thing. The great part about it for the NFL and for a lot of these players is this is the deepest running back class in 15 years.
Yeah.
There hasn't been. I mean, you got the Doug Walker Award winner last year, not this past, but the year before, Ali out of Oklahoma State.
Yeah, about to say dude out of Oklahoma State, right?
Guess what? He ain't even in the top 10.
He ran 4.6. That's what he got.
But he big.
But he big.
He's big and he's a good pass blocker. So if I can get a Doug Walker winner, he got football speed. Yeah.
Now who the running backs out of the SEC they look?
Oh, well, you got the 2 Ohio State running backs, Judson and Travion Henderson.
Yeah, I said SEC.
Oh, SEC. No, that's Big Ten. That's the Big Ten. That's Big Ten.
Nobody really raising their up.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
I haven't thought of like some stud running.
Get out of our.
Alabama ain't got nobody. Georgia keeps somebody.
Not a big bag. Not prime this year. But so the draft is going to be at the end of the month. So we got 2 weeks left. So you got the mock drafts already coming out. So we're going to put out our mock draft here in the next 10 days, 10 to 12 days. So y'all look for the NFL mock draft, and then we're going to see how close we actually are to the actual NFL draft. And you submit your mock draft and where you think your players are going to go, NFL fans. So we'd love to hear from you and see how close we get to the actual draft.
And like you say, it's a running back draft. A lot of teams need backs.
Mm-hmm.
The worst team that need backs is the Cowboys.
Oh, they need everything out there.
Here we go. By the way, every team that didn't win the Super Bowl, every team that didn't win the Super Bowl need everything. I'm just saying. So the Texans need everything.
Man, y'all forgot how that feels. It's been 30 years.
Y'all ain't never. The Texans ain't never felt how it feels. We might forget, but y'all gotta feel it first. Y'all.
Hey, that generation, man.
So true. So we can't leave the show without Truth to Truesdale. So what you got for us today?
What I got for us is Kevin Sampson. Worst offensive blood coach in the country. I want to style basketball. I mean, mine made it seem like we did it. Come on, it's a show. I mean, your age. I know you played with the SEC, but I'm just telling you, man, they got to get it together on that offense. If we not get that offense together,
so you heard the truth from the Truesdale. Before we go, Malik, What you got, bro?
U of A can win the national championship the next 3 to 4 years.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say next year. I thought you was calling next year.
Well, we got to see how it go with the new guy. But I think what he's built is here to stay. It was sad what happened last night, but man, 2 points. You can hang your head that you didn't execute the way you want to, but you was right there in the game. The championship was there to take it. You didn't take it, but lesson learned. All this Crimea River, all that stuff over with. So it's on the next year. They got 3 All-Americans. I looked it up. They got the number 6 pick, number I think 12 pick, and I think number 18 coming out of high school. That's never happened at U of H. And then they also got Pop Isaacs. Anybody know who Pop Isaacs is?
Yes.
He was the best player for Texas Tech last year. He went to Creighton.
He's transferring.
Yeah, that was big, man.
Yeah.
And so just imagine we need to find out who's really coming back. Hopefully Sharp come back. You know what I mean? Because he has more eligibility. That would help a lot to make the transition with the new guys.
Right.
But that defense travels. You got to play D if you're going to play at U of H. So that's not even a question. He can show up on his offense, but I'm going to give him props. They were top 5 in the nation in offense. The other years, they were like 180, 190. So they got to probably tweak some things, but they're on the right road to me.
All right. You heard it there from Truesdale. You heard it from Malik. We're going to end the show and just let you know that we covered everything, to make sure we covered our bases. But we're going to get back to the core. We're going to talk about my Dallas Cowboys next week. We're going to talk about the Dallas Mavericks. We're going to make sure to give y'all something that y'all want to hear about. So make sure you tune in to us real soon. Send us your comments. Send us your questions. And we're going to get back to the truth. We're going to get back to the truth of what you want to hear on this show. So shout out to our special observer, and you're going to see a lot of improvements from the Antone show. Shout out to Arlene. She's in the background. We always looking to improve, so we always bringing people in to critique us and see how we can give you a better product. So look forward to seeing you next week. Let's go.